guys today, bringing you a brand new video. As you may have seen, I just recently hit 10K subs. It's crazy. Appreciate all you guys who, hit that button. Today, I'm bringing you guys something I have not done before. 10K special, of course, but also it is the top 100 ranking of all tournament contestants that have been on my channel. Now, before you get to asking, no, this is not the final. It's not the finale. There's not going to be an end to all the tournaments. There's still going to be plenty more tournaments, but I just figured it'd be kind of cool to see where the ranking is right now, especially because I feel like this has kind of been the biggest or coolest thing that I've done on my channel, that you can look back at rankings for stuff. People will look at this and see where can I elevate my rank? Where do I stand right now? Even people that have been in 1 tournament or 10 tournaments, it does not matter. So I think it'd be kind of cool. I'm sure a lot of the contestants are going to be watching. I'm sure a lot of your favorite contestants are going to be in it. Actually, all of them will, because I'm literally ranking every single contestant. Even if we count specialty teams or people that quit or anything like that, there's exactly 100 people. It perfectly makes the list right now because there's technically 98, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just add it together. It's gonna be a perfect 100 if we do that. And let's just get right into the list. It's going to be the top 100. Here's a few things that I'm marking for each person as well. I'll just go down the line. Championships, obviously that's when you win the whole thing. Finals appearances, that's when you're in the final game, final round. Conference finals appearance, that's basically being in the round that's one game or 1 win away from getting to the finals. First team all tourney means that you were either the first, second, or third best individual performer in that tournament. If you're second team all tourney, that means you were 4th, 5th, or 6th best individual performer in that tournament. Your tournament round record is basically your win-loss record, but it's only based on the rounds, not necessarily every game that you play in a tournament. Allies and rivals, I only have up to as many as 3 for each one, and sometimes if there's not too many predominant allies or predominant rivals, I may only limit it to 1 or 2. And then I just kind of use context as well. Some people might have better accolade resumes, but they also might have been in some weaker tournaments, you could say. I feel like all the tournaments have been relatively competitive, but some of them have definitely been better than others. Of course, you have to rank those too. So with that being said, let's get right into the top 100 list. Again, appreciate you guys for getting me to this milestone. Let's do it.
At the number 100 spot, we got TK Seller. TK Seller has been in 1 tournament, the NBA 2K20 tournament. He did not make an all-tourney team for that tournament, though. He does have a tourney round record of 1 and 2. You might be thinking to yourself, hey, how does a guy who won actually a matchup, didn't get first rounded, how is he number 100? I'll explain it in a second. He has an ally of Clean Cardi. You'll hear that in a second. Rivals are myself, because he disrespected me, and he DQ'd out of my tournament and out of the PlayStation parties in both the games he was in, along with Xander and Shy Hoodie season. He lost to Xander. He beat Shy Hoodie season, but he stepped out of the tournament. He was really rude the whole time. And the attitude, that's the most important thing to me. You got to have a good attitude in these tournaments. He did not. I don't care that he actually won a matchup and some of these guys above him have not. That automatically puts you at number 100, dude. And Clean Cardi's his ally. And let's get to number 99, and that is Clean Cardi right here. He was only in the 2K20 tournament as well. He missed the all-tourney team because of that. Same tourney round record. His rivals are me and Jordan. He actually beat me in the first game and then lost to Jordan. And his ally is TK Seller because they both just quit. They quit in the middle of the tournament. I couldn't believe it. At least Clean Cardi gave me some heads up, though. TK Seller never did, and so part of that is why he's not dead last, but he's near the bottom because of that. Number 98, we got Bunny Ryan. I bet you weren't expecting a literal balloon to be above a few people on this list, and so he's made 1 tourney appearance. It's the 1v1 4 squares basketball tournament. He did not make the all-tourney team, unfortunately. He was a first-round exit with an 0-1 record. His rivals are me and Brandon. If you remember, we had that little skit where we went over towards him. And his ally is actually Jamie, who was not in this tournament, but Jamie was actually sitting on the sidelines of the tournament if you watched it. So that's why they're allies. They were both on the sideline there. But the thing, the Bunny Ryan, why he's above them, even though he didn't actually compete, why he's above Clean Cardi and TK Seller, he was there from start to finish. He never left, and you might think, well, duh, he's a balloon. But you know what? He's supported the whole time. And even when Daryl was hoisting the trophy at the end, you could see him in the background of that photo. So shout out Bunny Ryan, not the worst contestant. At number 97, we got Kaylin. Kaylin, she was a one-time tourney appearance in the Holiday 2v2 Family Basketball Tournament. She did not make the all-tourney team, and she has a 0-0 tourney round record because she was really just a specialty contestant. Her allies, Steven, that was her teammate, and then rivals Leighton and Madison. The reason it's not Adam and it's Madison instead is a little bit more family ties there. I don't want to get too much into it, but ultimately, wasn't an official contestant, but had a good attitude and was willing to play. So number 97. Number 96, we got Steven. Pretty much the same reasoning. Same tournament, Holiday 2v2 Family Basketball Tournament. He was not on the all-tourney team, though, and he has a 0-0 record again. Same ally as Kalen. Leighton and Madison are the rivals. The other people that have been on here probably will never be in a tournament again. I think maybe Steven and Kalen, they have a chance at coming back in one of these, so we'll have to see. Number 95. We got Celtics Culture. He's only been in one tournament so far. He was in the NBA Sporkle Boss Tournament. He did not make an all-tourney team for that one, so he has an 0-1 record. He was a first-round exit. His allies, I've said his allies would be me. I mean, I don't think he's really too familiar with anybody else who was in that tournament. And rivals, I put Lakers University. You know, Celtics and Lakers, they have a history. It only makes sense, right? Although both of them did get first round in that tournament. But we'll have to see if Celtics Culture comes back and will make some more noise in the future. Number 94, we got Julius. You know, Julius from the Dodgeball Outdoor 2v2 Tournament. Now, he didn't make the all-tourney team, first or second, but he did make the conference finals in this one. So shout out to him there. A 1-1 tourney round record. His ally, Jeremy P., and then his rivals, Hunter and Chase. I mean, they had that whole thing with faking the handshake and everything. That was so cool, you know, but ultimately Julius does have to be lower. He's definitely the hype man. He was definitely the hype man at the tournament. And so we got to put him up here somewhere. But ultimately it was Jeremy who was doing the hard work. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, he really helped them down 1-0 in that series against the Jugglers to win that. So Julius, you're awesome, man. Would love to see you back again. But right now you're number 94. Number 93, we got Shy Hoodie Season. You heard me mention him earlier. He has one tourney appearance in the NBA 2K20 tournament, and he has a second team all-tourney appearance in that tournament as well. So he's never missed an all-tourney team. We had 8 contestants. 2 of them pretty much stepped out. So I'm definitely giving Shy Hoodie Season the nod. He finished the tourney from start to finish, even though he didn't win. You know, he played every game he was supposed to. His allies, I would say IMO Boys, his allies, they had a cool little connection going on there, back and forth. So I got to put them as an ally. Rivals, I have TK Seller. He did lose to him in the losers bracket. And, you know, TK Seller got it along with nobody. He was the real L of not just that tournament, but of every tournament, in my opinion. So Shy Hoodie Season number 93. And who knows if he'll ever come back. Number 92, we got Zoran. You know, he's only been in one tournament, the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament. While he did not make the all-tourney team there, he has an 0-2 record. Allies, Michael. And then for his rivals, I did put me and Xander as double team supreme. That was definitely the closest game that we had. You know, Zoran didn't really do any of the scoring, but he was getting Michael involved. He was feeding the rock. Probably had the most assists in that game. I'd have to double check, but I still can't get out of my head when Michael hit that third three and he was just doing the claps and stuff like that, getting them hyped. So, and also against the Twin Towers, Josh and him matchup was pretty cool too. So Zoran, we'll see if he comes back eventually. Number 91, Updated My View. Updated My View has been in the NBA Sporkle Boss tournament, and only that. Now, he didn't make an all-tourney team there. He had an 0-1 record. He was a first-round exit. I would say I'm his only ally. Usually you'll see that over the course of this list, is that if there's really people that don't have an ally, it's me, because they have a connection with me to get in this tournament. And then rivals, I would say John Swift and Lakers University, you know, they were all right there in terms of scoring. So yeah, I would say that those are probably his rivals. Updated My View, only been in one tournament so far. Would be nice to get him back though, because I think he was a pretty cool contestant to have on. Number 90, we got John Swift. John Swift, he's only been in the Sporkle Boss tournament as well. He didn't make the all-tourney team. Allies, myself, rivals. He does have a little bit of background history against Sam Darnold's forehead, so that is his one rival there. You know, ultimately, he was a first-round exit. Similar to Updated My View, very similar score, only one tourney appearance, so we'll see if John Swift ever makes a return. Just wasn't meant to be in the Sporkle Boss tourney. Number 89, Swish Squad. Swish Squad has, same thing, one tournament, NBA Sporkle Boss tournament. He did not make an all-tourney team there. He was a first-round exit. His ally would be myself. Now, the rivals here, I put Streaky Heat, because him and Streaky Heat did have the same score in this one. So you'll notice, too, not everyone has a double-ended rivalry. He might have a rivalry one way, but someone else might have different rivals. So Swish Squad, you know, I was glad to have him in this tournament. You know, we'll see if he can bounce back. I think of all the newcomers in this one, he did the second best. So, you know, definitely made some noise. You know, didn't go down without a fight, and we'll have to see if he can bounce back in the next one. Number 88, we got my guy Jaden. You know, Jaden's my IRL friend. Only been in one tournament so far. It's the 1v1 mini golf tournament. He did not make an all-tourney team, and he was actually the only first-round exit, unfortunately. For rivals, I put Jordan. I mean, him and Jordan, that's kind of the reason he got eliminated. And then for allies, it's his boy Jacob. You know, they're like yin and yang, you could say. But actually wasn't doing too bad on the first hole in the preliminary round, but I think everything just went south from there. We'll have to see if he can bounce back in a future tournament. I'll definitely be trying to get him in some. So Jaden, right now though, you're number 88. Number 87, this is where I have my mom, Karen. You know, she's only been in one tournament. It was the shifting 2v2 basketball tournament, where she also was second team all-tourney, and she made the conference finals appearance. Now, granted, there were a little bit less contestants, but still, you know, that is a part of the resume. You know, 0-1 tournament round record because she did lose in the first round that was eligible. However, she did score some baskets when she was my teammate. For the allies, though, I would say obviously myself. You know, I am her son. You know, you'd have Ian. I think that the dynamic between my mom and Ian, you know, they got cooked against me and Jelson in that game, but you know, the team chemistry was there. And then rivals obviously would have to be Jelson and Jack because that's who else she was playing against. So I don't know if my mom will ever be in another tournament. We'll have to see, but it would definitely be really cool to one day if she's like hoisting up the trophy. That'd be kind of crazy. Number 86, we got my guy Groovy. Now, Groovy was only in the NBA Riddle Tales tournament. He did not make an all-tourney team. For allies, I got my guy Willie G, who is also a Nuggets fan, just like Groovy. And then rivals, Lakers University, not just because, you know, Groovy as a Nuggets fan, and like most Nuggets fans, you don't like the Lakers, but also he went against Lakers University. He did happen to lose against him in the Riddle Tales tournament, but, you know, Groovy knows his stuff. I think that if I get him back in another tournament, I think he could definitely bounce back. Just have to wait for that time to come, but right now, Groovy, you're not the lowest, but you are in 86. Number 85, we got Otto. Now, Otto was in the 1v1 family basketball tournament. He did not make an all-tournament team, though, and he had an 0-2 tourney round record. He lost 2 games against Jacob and Scott. Now, it's kind of unfortunate for Otto, though, because I have to put him a lot higher. Yes, he went 0-2, which is a lot worse record than some of these other ones. Yes, he did not score a single point. However, Otto defensively was really good in this tournament. He was really good at rebounding in this tournament. And I feel like aside from scoring, you could argue he was like a top 5 player. Unfortunately, it did not put any points on the scoreboard, like we said, and he lost both games. But also, he lost both games by 1 basket. You know, both games went the same way. Against Jacob, the final like 10-15 seconds, a 2-pointer went in. That kind of sealed the deal. Same thing against Scott. So I think that Otto kind of just had a little bit of bad luck. I think under different circumstances, he could have had even a better performance. Right now, I'm going to put him 85th. And I think if he's in a future tournament, no matter if it's basketball or something else, maybe he can actually, you know, go further next time. Shout out to Otto. Number 84, we got my guy Dane. Now, Dane actually was in the first NBA trivia tournament. While he did not make the all-tourney team, he was one of the last few to actually get in. If you remember that season of Baloney Basketball, I had 20 guests on doing trivia, and only the top 10 were eligible for the tournament. So Dane just got in as that last spot. Unfortunately, he had to go up against my guy Romp 2.0 in the first round. So, but you know, me and Dane, we've known each other. We're actually IRL friends. I don't know if many people really knew that, but you know, we'll have to see if, you know, Dane comes back in an NBA tournament or an IRL tournament one day. I think it would definitely be cool to, you know, see him bounce back in the tournament scene. Number 83, we got my guy Triple Play Fantasy. Triple Play Fantasy was only in the NBA 20 Questions tournament. He did miss the all-tourney team there, though. His allies, I would say, is myself, and then rivals, it's got to be Price McCurdy. He's only been in one matchup in tournament history, and he lost to Price. I think people forget, though, that this was a tournament that had 16 different people seeded 1-16, and Triple Play Fantasy was the 3 seed. So, you know, you would think maybe he could go to the conference finals, but it just wasn't meant to be. There were a lot of upsets in that tournament, though, so definitely nothing to hang your head on. I'm pretty sure that the top 4 seeds all lost in the first round, too. So it was definitely a weird tournament, but, you know, it was right there, and we'll have to see if Triple Play Fantasy can come back. You know, we've done a lot of videos on contracts, so if there's a tournament that presents itself of that theme, you know, maybe that could be the one for him. Number 82, we got Preston. Now, Preston was in the NBA 2K20 tournament, and he made second team all-tourney. You know, he was not a top 3 contestant, but he was somewhere in the 4 to 6 range. You know, he did lose both of his games, though. He lost to Jordan and he lost to myself. But, you know, Jordan, I probably one of his closer friends, so I gave him the ally spot, and then I'm more of its rival, I guess, which does make a little sense because this is the same Preston that was in the 7K sub special, which was the Bank Bean Boozle shootout, and we were the last two left, and then I ultimately won that, of course. But he did play me pretty close. I think most of the game it was kind of a single-digit scoring matchup, and I kind of had like a 4 to 8 point lead most of the game, but I closed it out. Preston was a tough opponent, so I got to put him up here somewhere. Number 81, we got my guy Top Notch. Top Notch, he's been in 2 tournaments. He was in the NBA 20 questions tournament and the NBA over-under scoring tournament. Now, he didn't make an all-tourney team on either of those, so he has an 0-2 tourney round record, but I think both times he put up a decent fight. It is kind of unfortunate that he had to go up against Reek Knows Hoops in the first one and ended up losing. In the second one, though, the over-under scoring tournament, he was tied with Clutch Talk at 7 out of 10, and it went to a tiebreaker question where Clutch Talk would eventually win. And Clutch Talk went on to the conference finals in that tournament, so that very well could have been Top Notch. Just wasn't meant to be. It's been a while since I've had him in the tournament. I would definitely love to get him back in one of these. But for his allies, I have Clutch Talk and NBA Addict TV. Rivals, I have Trill Buckets, Gabe Slidden, and Jelson. We've all collaborated on a lot of stuff before, but Top Notch would be cool to get you back. Number 80, we got my guy Phoenix. Phoenix has been in the 1v1v1 basketball tournament. He did not make an all-tournament team in that tournament, and he only has an 0-1 tourney round record. So as for allies and rivals, it was really hard for me to pick an ally here because I kind of wanted to pick Aaron for Phoenix of people that have actually competed. However, I think the way that game ended with Aaron, and he hit those 2 clutch shots, and especially the one that had Phoenix's mouth wide open, I couldn't really put that as an ally. So Aaron is a rival. And then I actually made Daryl more of an ally because, Daryl was the other one who was competing against those guys. But from another tournament, he's also close with Marcos. I think that kind of made sense. Phoenix, I think he should be up here still because while he's, only been in one matchup and he didn't win, there was a time in the game where him and Aaron were in the lead over Jordan and they had Jordan on the brink of losing. So, he definitely put up a good showing. He scored a couple baskets, so would definitely love to get Phoenix in another tournament, but right now, he's going to sit at number 80. Number 79, Coach Evan. Coach Evan has been in 2 tournaments. He was in the first NBA trivia tournament and the NBA 20 questions tournament. He lost both matchups, unfortunately, so he has an 0-2 tourney round record, losing to Price McCurdy in the first one and NBA Addict TV in the second one. So his ally, though, is Suns Geek as a fellow Suns fan, a part of the Valley squad. But, Coach Evan, I think both times he put up a decent showing. And it's just a little bit unfortunate that didn't fall his way. I mean, you look at both those guys he lost to, they both ended up losing in the finals of those tournaments. So I think if Coach Evan maybe got a more favorable draw, maybe he'd have a deeper run. And it's been a while since I've had him in a tournament. I've actually tried to get him in a couple, but we'll have to see if maybe we can get him in another one here soon because I think we all want to see that, redemption, that comeback season. So that would be really cool. At number 78, we got Logan, who has been in the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament. While he did not make an all-tourney team, he did lead this tournament in total catches and catches per game. He had an 0-1 tourney round record. His ally was his teammate Haley. His rivals were myself and Xander, just because we're the ones who eliminated him. We played them the most. Logan wasn't too bad. I mean, while he surprisingly actually didn't get a successful hit in this tournament, he was still definitely a threat that you had to keep your eye out for. And then, like I said, he led the tournament in catches, so solid showing there. Team Goose was no rollover competition. It was tough for me and Xander to win, and I gotta put him at number 78. Number 77, I got his teammate Haley. She's only been in the same tournament, the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament. She also did not make an all-tourney team here. 0-1 record. Logan's her ally. Me and Xander are the rivals. I do have her a little higher though. I mean, she got a key hit on Chase in regular season games, and then she got a hit on Xander in the first game of our head-to-head in the little playoff scenario, and she almost made the catch of a lifetime against me. So that kind of had me nervous. If that catch was made, that would have been one for the history book. So shout out to both of them, and it would be cool to have them back. Number 76, we got my guy, Nick Kovacs. He is a member of the Running the Paint podcast. He was in the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. He did miss both the first and second all-tourney teams for this tournament. He has an 0-1 tourney round record, losing to his guy, Miles, in the first round. Even though Miles was a lower seed, Nick ultimately still won over his podcast partners in the season, with the highest score. But Miles and Jackson are his two allies. I actually have Price as his rival, even though he didn't go against him. You know, I think those guys, they're so close with their podcasts that they're almost rooting for one another. And you could even hear Nick say that after he lost, that, you know, I'm rooting for Miles. Miles ended up losing the Price, and then Jackson ended up losing the Price. So I think it's all interlinked. We'll have to see what these guys can do in another tournament. And yeah, number 75. We got Johnny. Now, Johnny was in the first NBA trivia tournament. He made second team all-tourney in this one. You know, he was a 4-6 finisher. While he was a first round exit to Suns Geek, it was a pretty close matchup. So, got to give him some credit there. I think it could have went really either way, and it came down to like the very end. I would say I'm his ally because me and Johnny, if you don't remember, he was actually a co-host with me for the first 2 seasons of Baloney Basketball. So, I mean, it's been a minute since I've had him in a tournament. I might have to try and, you know, get him back in the scene in one of these, but right now, he's still number 75. Number 74, we got Natalie. She was in the 1v1 family basketball tournament. While she did not make an all-tourney team and she had an 0-2 tourney round record, I was actually pretty impressed with how she played. She played against Adam, and yeah, Adam kind of gave her like an easy basket at the start. But right after that, like, she actually hit one, and I was like, wow, I did not think she was going to hit that. And then on top of that, she played against Tyler, and she hit a shot like that immediately, it felt like. So, you know, she was definitely scoring a little bit more than the average person probably would have thought going in that she would. I would say Katie is her ally. They were the only 2 girls in this tournament. So, you know, shout out to Natalie. Would be cool to get her back in another one. And, you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I think that maybe she could shock some people. Maybe that was a little glimpse of something. Number 73, we got Speakeasy Sports. He's only been in the first NBA trivia tournament. Speakeasy Sports made second team all-tourney. In my opinion, the 5th best competitor for this one. He did lose in the first round, though, to courtside with Sava. But that was definitely the closest first round series. I do have Reek Knows Hoops as his ally because they do have a little bit of a Detroit connection. Speakeasy Sports, I know he's a busy guy. Would definitely be cool to get him in a tournament again someday. But, you know, for now, still a top 5 tournament showing at one point in time, and we'll have to see if he can come back. Number 72, we got my guy Tristan. You know, Tristan, he was in the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament. While he did not make an all-tourney team, he does have a tourney round record of 1-2. His teammate was Brad. They ended up beating Hubbub Basketball before they lost to the Duck Buckets, and then they lost to the Twin Towers in probably the longest game of the tournament. So that's why I have Dave and Josh as their rivals, because there was just the most going on there. He also had a little back and forth with Dave where Dave blocked his shot, then he blocked Dave's shot. Kind of makes sense from that perspective. But, you know, Tristan, he scored a couple baskets. Being that he's only been in one tournament, it's kind of harder to rank him that much higher, but we'll have to see. I know he's kind of doing his own thing right now, but it would be cool to get him back soon. Number 71, we got Brett. Brett was in the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, and he got past the first round, actually, as a second place finisher. And then he was on a team with me, Dave, and we ended up losing in the game to 3 points. There was a 3v3 second chance game. His ally, I would say, would be Richie. You know, I know they're pretty close. The rivals, I would say Dutch and Hunter. That's who he played in the first round matchup. And you could maybe make an argument of some other guys too. I know that him and Brandon, they were kind of guarding each other in that 3v3 game, but ultimately Brett, number 71, he did have a little bit of a takeover mode in that first game too. So if he's feeling his shot and he comes back in another tournament, better watch out. Number 70, we got HR Lake Show. This guy's only been in one tournament. It was the NBA Riddle Tales tournament, and he did not make an all-tourney team. He has an 0-1 tourney round record. His allies are his fellow Laker fans, Clutch Talk, who's also known as Lakers Corner, and then Lakers University. His rival has to be Reek Knows Hoops. That's who eliminated him. But one thing people don't realize is how close this guy was to beating Reek Knows Hoops. And not only that, but, you know, Reek has been in a lot of tournaments, and I still feel like this was the closest time he had to losing in the first round because he only survived by about 10 seconds. Reek got an answer in about 10 seconds earlier than HR Lake Show, and that really told the difference because Reek ended up winning this whole tournament. There were 20 contestants and Reek won the whole thing. So if that was just a little bit different, 15 seconds could have changed everything. Shout out to him. Even though he only has been in one tournament so far, I definitely want to get him back sometime soon. Yeah, that was still pretty impressive. Now, number 69, we got my guy Noah Talks Basketball. 4 tournaments so far. The GeoGuessr NBA tournament, the NBA Riddle Tales, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia. Unfortunately, he hasn't been on an all-tourney team for any of them. With that being said, though, I think especially in the recent tournaments like the Rose Gold and even in the Riddle Tales tournament too, I think he put up a decent showing. He really has always been pretty close to getting past the first round. I think he's just gotten a little bit unlucky The Sporkle Boss one, maybe that one was probably his worst showing, but the other 3, he was very close to moving on. So while he does have an 0-4 tourney round record, he was very close to beating Gaurav Law in the Riddle Tales tournament. He was close to beating Lakers University in the Rose Gold Trivia tournament. His allies, I would say, is Clutch Talk or Lakers Corner. But yeah, I definitely want to see him advance because I think right now he currently has the most streaks of not winning a matchup without having won a first round game. So would be cool to see my guy Noah get past the first round, and I think he's due. Number 68, we got my guy Miles Irvin. Now Miles, he has only been in one tournament. It was the Rose Gold Trivia tournament so far. While he didn't make an all-tourney team for this one, he did actually win a matchup as a lower seed against his guy Nick, who him and Jackson are the allies. Again, like I said earlier, Price McCurdy, the rival here, with a 1-1 tourney round record. You know, Miles, he put up a good showing, obviously, against Nick, and he almost beat Price. You know, shout out to him there, because like we know, Price, I mean, he's won a championship already, and he's been to the finals many times. So that would have definitely been huge if he could pull off like the double upset there. But you know, I know Miles will be in another tournament probably sometime soon, so shout out to him, and we'd definitely love to have him and his podcast mates back. Number 67, we got Jacob G. You got to specify because there are multiple Jacobs in this list. But this is the Jacob that was in the 1v1 family basketball tournament. And I have him as a second team all-tourney contestant. You know, he wasn't a 1-3 finisher, but he was a 4-6 finisher. With a 1-2 tourney round record, he did beat Otto before he lost to myself and he lost to Scott. Now, there was a really close game with him and me. Actually, he was up 4-1. And to be honest, that was my closest chance to losing in this tournament, which was the first time I ever won. So he did kind of have me nervous. He was up 4-1 in a game straight to 5 points, but I ended up scoring the next 4 straight. I survived, and it was a timed game too, so makes it a little bit harder. So shout out to Jacob. You know, he played me really well, and would definitely love to get him back sometime soon. Number 66, we got Scott. He was also in the 1v1 family basketball tournament. And just like Jacob, he made the second team all-tourney in this one. You know, Scott, he, instead of a 1-2 record, though, like Jacob, he has a 2-2 record in his tournament round history with an ally of Tyler. That was the pizza game, if you remember. And then his rivals being Jacob and Otto, who he managed to beat both of them. So, you know, Scott, he also lost to me. But respectfully, I don't know if we can call that a rivalry. That game was over so quick. So, you know, anyways, though, Scott, him and Jacob, I would actually argue maybe Jacob played a little bit better. But I got to give Scott the slight nod over him just because he went one round further and he did win head-to-head. So Scott, number 66. Number 65, we got Stevie. Stevie was in the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament. He did not make an all-tourney team here, but he did make it to the conference finals. And he has a 2-2 tourney round record. One of the wins of the tournament by beating X Country, coming off a championship. They were the first people to beat them. You know, they gave them their first L. Once they went through Salt and Pepper after that, they got to the conference finals, and they were up 4-0 on the team that ended up winning the championship in Dutch and Clutch. But then everything went kind of south. You know, Dutch and Clutch scored 7 straight. They went to the losers bracket. They played the Twin Towers, and they lost 7-2. So, you know, it was kind of tough. You know, him and Chase were a great team. His rivals, I would say, are Jacob. You know, they have a little bit of a history as well. And especially that first game, you know, that was a great battle between both X and Chase, and then also Stevie and Jacob. So would be great to get Stevie back as well. You know, rehash that rivalry a little bit with Jacob and see where it goes. Number 64, we got Lakers University. You know, he's been in 3 tournaments: the NBA Riddle Tales, the NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia. He unfortunately has never made an all-tourney team out of any of those, but he has gotten past the first round a couple times. In the Riddle Tales and the Rose Gold Trivia, he got past the first round. His allies are Clutch Talk, also known as Lakers Corner, and his other ally is HR Lake Show, you know, the Laker side of it, right? His rivals, I would say, are Groovy and Noah Talks Basketball. Those are actually the 2 people that he's played head-to-head and he's beaten. He is undefeated in the first round against specific head-to-head matchups. The only time he lost was the Sporkle one, and that was going against everybody. So Lakers University, you know, he's had a decent career so far, but we'll see if he can continue to grow on that and elevate on it moving forward. 63, we got Andrew. Andrew's been in the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament. He did not make an all-tourney team for this one, but he did avoid a first-round exit. He had a 1-1 tourney round record. His allies, I would say, are Richie and Daryl. You know, he was teammates with both of them at some point. And his rivals are Brad, which is you know, his sibling, and Dre, because he played Dre in the one-on-one, and he played Dre a couple other times throughout the tournament. So, you know, Andrew, he put up a decent showing. You know, he was probably one of the best, if not the best rebounder in this tournament. But, you know, he was actually hitting some threes and making some crazy celebrations. So, you know, I had to give him a little bit of a boost for that, because we always talk about like the hype and the aura or whatever people are going to say. And I think that he really had that in this tournament. So, you know, shout out to Andrew, and we'll see if he can keep it pushing in another one of these. Number 62, we got my guy Ethan. You know, Ethan, he's been in 2 tournaments, the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament and the 3v3 draft basketball tournament. Now, he was a second team all-tourney member on the 3v3 draft basketball tourney, but he did not make an all-tourney team in the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament. He does have an 0-2 tourney round record, so he might be thinking, how did he get on second team? Well, it's because he was hitting threes like crazy in the 3v3 draft one. So his allies, I would say, are Richie and Yanni, and then his rivals, probably Daryl. He's played Daryl the most times of anybody in tournament history for himself. There's definitely a good rivalry there, and they both have beaten each other at one point or another. So Ethan, number 62 on the list. Can he get to 61 or better? We'll only have to see. Time will tell. Speaking of number 61, we got Joshua Moon. We're going up to the moon. My guy was in the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament, and he actually was a second team all-tourney member here. In my opinion, Joshua Moon was a top 5 contestant for this tournament. You know, his allies got to be myself and, of course, Jacob, who was his teammate on the Moonfighters. His rivals definitely have to have Katie. I mean, we have the whole lure of Joshua Moon and Katie, who can do better against a 1v1 with me. And then they ultimately played each other. And then I also have Matthew here. I mean, Joshua Moon just called out Matthew at the very beginning. While he was a first round exit, I do think that he played better than deserving of that. It was just a little bit unfortunate on their end, but you know, Joshua Moon, still a solid showing, and we'll have to see. The moon might rise in one of these tournaments. Number 60, we got Marcos. You know, Marcos was teammates with me in the 3v3 draft basketball tournament, where he was a second team all-tourney member, and actually in that tournament, we got to the conference finals. His allies got to be myself and Yanni and Phoenix too. For the rivals, I have Daryl, Aaron, and Brandon. You know, it just seemed like he was matched up with those guys a lot throughout the course of this tournament. And, you know, Marcos is pretty good. He was one of the better rebounders in this tournament, one of the better defenders in this tournament, especially at the rim. Just wasn't meant to be. I think really the game in the conference finals, we got off to a very slow start. That was not a good tournament for myself, I will admit it. So I kind of let my team down. But nevertheless, you know, we did heat up. It was just a little bit too little too late. I think if we actually started the game the way we were finishing it, I think we probably could have won it. But, you know, you can't think like that. But Marcos, you know, he had still a pretty good tournament. And I would definitely love to have him back in another one of these, because I think he played pretty good. 59, we got Reliable Rants. Reliable Rants has been in 5 tournaments. The NBA Puzzle Block, the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, NBA GeoGuessr Tournament, NBA Sporkle Boss Tournament, and the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. He missed all-tourney team on 4 of those 5 tournaments. The only one he's made it for is he was a second-team all-tourney member on the NBA Puzzle Block Tournament. With a 1-5 tourney round record, it is a bit tough. He did actually get that win in the most recent one, which was the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. His allies, Suns Geek and Romp 2.0, you know, they go back to the podcasting days. And then the rivals, I got Garav Law and Jelson. Those are people who he's had really close matchups with in the first round. You know, it is tough because, like I was saying with Noah earlier, Reliable Ranch has had very close first round matchups and just hasn't been meant to be, it seems. This most recent one, the Rose Gold Trivia, he finally prevailed. So, you know, baby steps, but one step at a time, maybe he can start getting closer and closer to some more success. Number 58, we got my guy, Mike Kale. Mike Kale's been in 3 tournaments. He's a 1v1 King of the Court tournament contestant, along with the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament and the 1v1 Four Squares basketball tournament. Now, he unfortunately didn't make an all-tourney team in any of those. The one thing, though, you can say about him is never been first rounded. He actually has a tournament round record of 4-3, which is pretty good. His allies that I got on here are Brandon, S, and Z. You'll see that there's multiple Brandons, of course, too. And the rivals, I got Twan on here. I mean, especially after the 1v1 Four Squares, that just felt personal between him and Twan. Like, even the wheel was agreeing, like, let's just let him keep playing Twan. And then Twan went 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 against him. It was just a little bit unfortunate. But, you know, Mike Haley's had some highlights. I still think of that crossover play he had on Brandon. He also had that one on Z, ironically, the 2 allies I picked here for him. It would be nice to at least see him get on a second team all-tourney appearance or a conference finals appearance at some point in time, and then eventually build up from there. Ultimately is to be a champion one day. Number 57, we got Jeremy P. Now, there are two Jeremys in the tournament history. This is the Jeremy that was in the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament. He did not make an all-tourney team here, but he helped his team get to the conference finals appearance. And actually, he just missed the cut for an all-tourney team here too. He did have a 1-1 tourney round record. They went through Hunter and Chase on the jugglers, and then his ally, Julius. This was one of the more surprising matchups just because when they were down 1-0 to the jugglers, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty much over. But he just went Super Saiyan mode. I don't know how he did it, but he ultimately went crazy. And I still think back to that one where he hit Chase and then he caught that one from Hunter like in a matter of like 2 seconds. He definitely had one of those moments. And if we do another dodgeball tournament, you know, we'll have to see. Maybe if Julius is a little bit taller and stuff like that. We got Jeremy in the lab. They might be a little bit of a lethal team. Number 56, we got Jeremy K. Now, this is the Jeremy that was in the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament. Missed the all-tourney team, but he did make the conference finals as well, and a 1-1 tournament round record. His ally was Brad. His rivals are me and Xander, because obviously we eliminated them. And then I also have Dutch on here. I always think back of the play where he's like, play basketball, bro. And it's just so funny to me. I don't know why. Yeah, and you might be thinking like, well, what's really different between Jeremy K and Jeremy P? They both made a conference finals appearance. They both aren't on an all-tourney team. They both have been in one tournament. They both have a 1-1 record. I do think Jeremy K is a little bit higher just because, well, one, on an individual game standpoint, they went 2-1. Team JP, they lost all the regular season games. They were 0-5. Then they got past the first round, and then they got swept. So it really was more competitive, Team 7-11's performance, and that does help Jeremy K. But also, he had some crazy plays, too. Like, he had a game winner against Dutch and Clutch that I don't think people thought they would win in that fashion. And he had clutch buckets in every game. So I got to give Jeremy K some props. He's number 56 on here. Number 55, we got Jamie. Jamie has been in one tournament. It's the 1v1 mini golf tournament. And she was a second team all-tourney member and made the conference finals appearance. She was really a top 4 performer in this. She was the 4th seed out of 9 contestants, also putting on, you know, for some female representation. She was the only woman in this tournament, and she had a 2-1 record. Rivals, I do have Xander there because they did go to a tiebreaker match, and it really looked like Xander had a little bit more momentum, especially after the hole before that, but she pulled off one of the craziest hits ever. She did also get past the first round, which got her to that point. Her ally, Brandon, I mean, they're together. I mean, come on. But ultimately, Brandon did eliminate her. But we'll see if we can get Jamie in another one of these tournaments someday, because I think she was really good. Number 54, we got Tyler. Tyler's been in one tournament. It was the 1v1 family basketball tournament, and he was a second team all-tourney member. I would say he was the 4th best performer in this one. With a 3-2 tourney round record, he did lose his first game to Adam before he wiped through 3 straight opponents. He went through Matthew, went through Natalie, went through Scott in what's known as the pizza game, which is why they're allies. And then he ultimately lost to Katie in a game that was more football than basketball. But, you know, Katie ultimately beat him, and ultimately that was the end of his run. Number 53, we got courtside with Sava, who has been in only one tournament, the first NBA trivia tournament. Now, he was a second team all-tourney member there. I would say he's a top 4 contestant in this one, and he made the conference finals. A 2-1 tourney round record. I think his main rivals are Speakeasy Sports and Hindo, 2 people he defeated. As a Bulls fan, just like himself, I would say I'm his ally. Courtside with Sava, I know he's not as much in the YouTube game anymore, but I did really like having him in this tournament, and I think he really enjoyed the game. I definitely want to get him back in another one of these someday. We actually don't live all too close away from each other, and there was one little instance where we were maybe going to do something IRL. I can't totally reveal, but we were thinking about it. And we'll have to see if that comes true. We'll have to see if another tournament for him comes true, because I think it would be really cool. Number 52, we got Madison. She's been in 2 tournaments, the Holiday 2v2 Family Basketball Tournament, the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends Basketball Tournament. Now, the most recent one for Easter, she did not make an all-tourney team, but she did make the 2v2 Holiday Family Basketball Tournament second team. She made the conference finals both times with a 2-2 tourney round record, which is not too bad. Her allies are Layton and Katie, and then her rivals are Matthew, Joshua Moon, and Jacob D, who was the Jacob in the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament, not the 1v1 family basketball tournament. I know it's so confusing. I know it's very confusing. Nonetheless, Madison, she's put up a decent performance, I would say. Maybe she doesn't have like quite the basketball intangibles as a lot of these other people, but she does play hard. I think she rebounds well, and I think she defends pretty well. Unless Leighton's yelling at her, then maybe she's not going to defend very well, just in spite of him. But still, you know, decent showing so far in 2 tournaments. We'll have to see if one day she can get to the finals and maybe win the championship. Number 51, we got my guy, Jackson Goglin. You know, Jackson's only been in 1 tournament. It was the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament, and he actually made second team All-Tourney in this one, which is very impressive considering there were 26 contestants, and 23 of them had been in a tournament before. And so he was actually a top 6 tournament contestant. That says a lot, in my opinion, especially since he was the 19th seed and he went through NBA Addict TV, who has made the finals before and made multiple conference finals appearances. He went through my guy Gabe Slidin too, who has been to 3 conference finals appearances. So that says a lot right there. Now, his run came short when he played against Price. He had to go through a very tough round, like no questions about it. Those are all experienced people. He did actually do the best of his podcast mates, Miles and Nick, but they were all cheering him on, and that's why they're all allies. But with a 2-1 tourney round record, just off that alone, it almost gets him right to the halfway point of this list. So shout out to Jackson, and I think another good tournament or two, that could definitely put him in the top half. Now we're at the halfway point. Number 50, we got my guy Gaurav Law. Gaurav, he has been in 6 NBA tournaments. He has been in the NBA Puzzle Block Tournament, the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, the NBA GeoGuessr Tournament, the NBA Riddle Tales Tournament, the NBA Sporkle Boss Tournament, and the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. Now, he has missed the All-Tourney team 5 times. The only one in which he made one was second team All-Tourney for the NBA Puzzle Block Tournament. He does have a 1-6 tournament round record. You know, part of the reason he is so high is the fact that, you know, he keeps coming back and he loves doing these. And it's not like it's just that either, because he got to the second round in the NBA Riddle Tales Tournament and was very close to getting to the Final 5 round. I don't think people remember that too much. He was pretty close in the NBA Puzzle Block Tournament. Really good showing in the NBA GeoGuessr Tournament. It was the closest loss of anybody in the whole showing, in the whole video. He lost by 2 miles. Like, that stings. That's tough. So it's not like he's totally been out of the picture in these. He just has gotten a little bit unlucky. That 1-6 could very well be a 3-4 or a 4-3. You know, his allies are Reek Nose Hoops and Gabe Slidin. You know, those are his college buds. And his rivals are Jacob Blocks, Sam Darnold's Forehead, and Reliable Rants. Yeah, I mean, he definitely has a lot of history, and we'll have to see. I definitely want to see him break through and have a deep run because I think he has it in him. Number 49. We got my guy Strauss, who has been in 3 tournaments. He's been in the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament, the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament, and the 1v1v1 basketball tournament. Now, he's never made an all-tourney team, but he did get to the conference finals in the 1v1v1 basketball tournament. With a 1-4 tourney round record, his ally is Hunter as a member of Team Hubbub Basketball. His main rivals, though, are Brad and X. You know, he played Brad in the first 2 tournaments, lost both times to him. He played X in the second and third tournament, lost both times to him, but he also did beat X at one point. So, you know, there is that. You know, Strauss, he's had some decent showings. I think that he's not a guy that's always going to score a lot of points, but he's definitely going to play intense defense and he's going to rebound. So he's a guy you would definitely want on your team, and he's a guy I want in my tournaments. So hopefully he comes back. Number 48, we got Streaky Heat, you know, also known as Villainy. He's been in 3 tournaments so far: the NBA Riddle Tales Tournament, the NBA Sporkle Boss Tournament, and the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. Now, twice he's missed the All-Tourney team. That would be the NBA Sporkle Boss and the Rose Gold Trivia. But he did make second team All-Tourney in the NBA Riddle Tales Tournament. The 6th best performer. He was also the 5th seed in the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament and was actually the closest person that was just excluded off the All-Tourney team for this one too. So he's put up some decent showings. He has a 3-3 tourney round record. I would say I'm his biggest ally right now. His rivals, definitely Marisa Sports Historian. You know, he's gone against him in the Riddle Tales and the Rose Gold Trivia. But I would also say Swish Squad, because they had that tie in the Sporkle Boss Tournament. And then Run the NBA. You know, that was a 4-5 matchup. Very close seeding in the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. And it was close, but Run the NBA pulled it together. So Streaky Heat, you know, kind of in his villainy era. We'll have to see. You know, maybe that's good luck, or maybe it's just doom when it comes to these future tournaments. We're hoping for it's good luck, though. Number 47, we got Dre. Dre has been in the Mystery All-Runs basketball tournament, and he actually made second-team all-tourney in this one. He was the 4th best contestant, in my opinion, in this tournament. Only a 2-1 tourney round record because he just has one tourney to show for it. His main ally, I would say, is Twan, and his main rival is Z. You know, he went against Z a lot in this tournament. Even though Twan did eliminate him, they were also teammates, and he's rivals with Andrew, too. You know, Dre was actually the second leading scorer in this tournament, too. Out of 18 contestants, he's only been in one tournament. I think that says a lot. I think hopefully we can get him in one of these other ones someday because I think he's more than good enough to win one of these tournaments. Number 46, we got Hoops and MMA. Only been in 2 tournaments so far, the NBA Sporkle Boss and the Rose Gold Trivia tournaments. You know, he missed the all-tourney team in the Rose Gold Trivia, but he made second team all-tourney in the NBA Sporkle Boss tournament. He was in the conference finals. He was a top 4 performer in this one, and he has a 2-2 tourney round record. He got through the first 2 rounds in that one, lost in the conference finals, but he did lose in the first round of Rose Gold Trivia, and that was kind of tough, especially as the higher seed. So for allies, I would say that myself, I'm kind of his only ally right now, but for rivals, it's got to be Marisa Sports Historian. That's the only head-to-head matchup he's really had. But, you know, I think that the Rose Gold Trivia just was kind of a bad day. The Sporkle Boss, we did those recordings on 3 different days. So I've seen him at his best. He knows his stuff. He could do it. He could do it one day. Number 45, we got Richie. Richie has been in 3 tournaments. The 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the Mystery All-Runs basketball tournament, and the 1v1 Foursquares basketball tournament. You know, he's missed the all-tourney team on 2 of those, but he did make second team all-tourney in his most recent appearance, which is the 1v1 Foursquares basketball tournament. He also made the conference finals in that same tournament. He has a 3-3 tourney round record with allies of Yanni and then, of course, Ethan. His rivals got to be Daryl, and I would say Aaron as well. It's just a little bit tough for Richie. I think his first showing was definitely not one he was pleased with, but he's definitely bounced back. People forget in the Mystery All-Runs basketball tournament, only myself and Richie went 4-0 in the qualifying round. And then in the 1v1 Foursquares basketball tournament, he won 4 straight matchups. You know, only a couple people really did that too, and I'm pretty sure he was the second leading scorer in that tournament too. So, you know, shout out to Richie. We'll have to see. Number 44, we got Yanni. Yep, I have Richie and Yanni right next to each other. That'll cause some mayhem, I'm sure. But the Mystery All-Runs basketball tournament, the 3v3 draft basketball tournament, and the 1v1 Foursquares basketball tournament all featured Yanni in it. She did not make an all-tourney team for the Mystery All-Runs basketball tournament, but in the 3v3 draft and the Foursquares, she made second team all-tourney. Both of those in which she also made the conference finals. She has a 3-3 tourney round record, just like Richie. Now, in the Foursquares tournament, I would say Richie was better than Yanni, but also Yanni was probably the 4th best contestant in the 3v3 draft basketball. And I think that kind of like decides the tie a little bit. You know, for Yanni's allies, I have Richie, Ethan, and Marcos. For the rivals, definitely Daryl. And I would actually say myself too, even though me and Yanni were teammates at one point, I think that we've also had a fair share of matchups against each other that you could call us kind of rivals too. So we'll see. Maybe they need to team up to boost up higher in the list, her and Richie, but we'll only have to wait and see. Number 43, we got IMO Boy. Only been in the NBA 2K20 tournament, where he was a first-team all-tourney contestant as a top 3 performer. Also made the conference finals appearance here. A 2-2 tourney round record. And with an ally of Shy Hoodie season, like I said, they had good chemistry. And his rival, definitely Xander. You know, he played Xander twice. The only person he's played multiple times in this tournament. Beat him once, lost to him once, and was eliminated by him, unfortunately. This was the first tournament we ever did. I don't know if we'll get him back in another one, but it would really be cool if we could. So shout out to IMO Boy. Number 42, we got Jacob Blocks, who has been in 4 tournaments. The NBA GeoGuessr tournament, the NBA Riddle Tales tournament, the NBA Sporkle Boss tournament, and the Rose Gold Trivia tournament. Now, he's missed the all-tourney team in the GeoGuessr and the Sporkle Boss, but I would have him as a second-team all-tourney member in the Riddle Tales and the Rose Gold Trivia. The Riddle Tales, he was a top 5 contestant, and the Rose Gold Trivia, I would say he was 6. He does have a 5-4 tourney round record, so while he's never made the conference finals, he still has a pretty good record. His main ally, NBA Addict TV, their fellow Knicks fans. His rivals, definitely Xander. He's played him multiple times. Garav Law, that was a really intense matchup that he had in the Riddle Tales with him. And then Jelson, he's played him in the GeoGuessr, played him in the Rose Gold. You know, Jacob Blocks, like I said, 4 tournaments and to not make a conference finals, it's really tough, but I do think that he can in one of these very soon. It's just a matter of, you know, sometimes you just have to get a little bit lucky. Just hasn't been yet, but that time is coming. I'm confident of it. So shout out to Jacob Blocks, and I think some people are rooting for it. At number 41, we got my guy Hindo. Now, Hindo's been in 2 tournaments, the first NBA Trivia Tournament and the NBA 20 Questions Tournament. He didn't make an all-tourney team in the first NBA Trivia Tournament, but he really bounced back, and in the 20 Questions Tournament, he was a first-team all-tourney member. You know, he was a top 3 performer in this one. He made the conference finals, really bounced back. He went through both Romp 2.0 and Suns Geek in the first couple of rounds. He also had a tough matchup against NBA Addict TV in the conference finals, and he put some pressure on him, you know, to the point where it's like that was going to be the matchup you look at and you're like, man, whoever wins this is going to the finals. Whoever loses this is going to be the closest one to miss it. And that's exactly what he was the closest one to miss it. But a 3-2 tourney round record overall. His ally, Jelson, you know, they do have some Minnesota ties, both of them, but ultimately Hindo, you know, didn't have a great first tourney, but he definitely bounced back in the second one. Yeah, both times he's lost to people who went to the finals. I would love to get Hindo back in another tournament. Hindo, if you're watching this, come back in another tournament. It would be really cool just to see him back at it, especially with some new people that we've had in some of these other ones. Number 40, we got Jack. Jack has been in 3 tournaments, the Shifting 2v2 basketball tournament. He was in the NBA Riddle Tales tournament and the NBA Sporkle Boss tournament. And he did make second team all-tourney in the Shifting 2v2 basketball tournament. He did make the conference finals appearance and a finals appearance in that one. Unfortunately, just fell short of the championship, as me and him were teammates. That's why I'm one of his allies, but also Jelson too. His main rivals, I would say, are Ian and my mom, Karen. Missed the all-tourney team on the Riddle Tales and the Sporkle Boss tournament. You know, the Shifting 2v2 basketball one, it was kind of tough because it was going to come down to him and my mom and who was going to get that last spot. And he really clutched up in that last game before the finals to cement a spot there. He was the leading scorer in that game. And then the NBA Riddle Tales tournament, he played Jelson. Just wasn't his day. He lost in the first round. But he did kind of get revenge on Jelson in the next one, because in the Sporkle Boss one, Jelson had the second lowest score out of 24 contestants. And Jack actually qualified. He was the last person to qualify past round 1, and he ended up finishing in the top 12 of the tournament. So shout out to Jack. We'll have to see if he can, have more success coming forward in some of these NBA tournaments or another IRL one. Number 39, we got my guy Michael. You know, he's been in 7 tournaments, the NBA 20 Questions, the first outdoor 2v2 basketball, first indoor 2v2 basketball, the NBA Fast Money, NBA GeoGuessr, 1v1 King of the Court, Rose Gold Trivia most recently, yet he's never made an all-tourney team, which is so tough. He's never made a conference finals appearance either. And he does have a 3-8 tourney round record. His allies are Zoran and Josh. Now, that's not Joshua Moon. That's just Josh. Rivals, myself, of course. You know, me and Michael always go at it. I always seem to win, but he always seems to get the first basket. Xander, same team. We've done that multiple times. And then Dave, too. And I have Dave on here, too, because it's like, you know, obviously he was teammates with Josh at first. Josh went to the Twin Towers with Dave. You know, Michael has had still some decent showings. He got past the first round in the 20 Questions tournament, got past the first round in the Fast Money tournament, and got past one round in the King of the Court tournament. I would say that his closest appearance was actually his first tournament to get to the Final Four, where Reek, who ended up winning the whole thing, didn't guess the player in 20 questions. So it came down to a tiebreaker with him and Michael. So it was very close. The reason I don't have him as an all-tourney member, though, is because he didn't guess it right. It's very tough for Michael. I think that one of these tournaments, he can actually make one of these teams and maybe a conference finals, a championship. Who knows? But I think it would be really cool. Number 38, we got Sam Darnold's forehead. He's been in 7 tournaments himself, the NBA 20 Questions tournament, the NBA Over-Under Scoring tournament, NBA Fast Money, NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Riddle Tales, NBA Sporkle Boss, the Rose Gold Trivia. He's only made an all-tourney team, though, in the NBA Sporkle Boss tournament, and he made second team all-tourney there. He made a conference finals appearance there. Every other tournament, he has not made an all-tourney team. But what I will say about Sam Darnold's forehead is he has been on a right streak lately. You know, his first 3 tournaments, he couldn't even get out of the first round. It was really tough for him. The GeoGuessr, he got past one round, but then ran right into Reek Knows Hoops, so his run ended quick. While he was a first-round exit in his first 3 tournaments, the last 3 of those 4, he has not been a first-round exit. So that is a good streak for him. Biggest ally, myself. His rivals are Gaurav Law and John Swift. We'll see what my guy Forehead can do from here. Number 37, we got Willie G. Willie G is a Nuggets fan who has been in 6 tournaments: the NBA 20 Questions, the NBA Fast Money, NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Riddle Tales, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia. He has only made an all-tourney team though once, which was the NBA 20 Questions tournament. He was very close to making first team all-tourney, but he has not made an all-tourney team aside from that. He does have a 5-6 tourney round record, which is respectable. You know, it's okay. It could be a little bit better, especially for someone who's never won a championship and actually has never made but more than one conference finals appearance. That's not too bad. His ally, Groovy, is a fellow Nuggets fan. His rivals are Romp 2.0, you know, as a Sixers, Nuggets, you know, Embiid, Jokic type of thing. And then Gabe slid in. So shout out Willie G. Love having him in the tourneys. And I'm kind of hoping he can win one day because he's kind of like one of the people I'm rooting for the most. 36, we got Patrick. He's only been in the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament. In that same tournament, he was a top 3 performer. He made first team all-tourney. He made the conference finals appearance. He made the finals appearance. And while we don't have a finals MVP award, had they won in the championship, which was a very close game, he probably would have been the finals MVP too. So, you know, Patrick definitely showed up. They had a 2-1 tourney round record. You know, him and Katie are allies. His rivals are myself, Matthew, and Leighton. Myself mostly because, you know, we had some moments where we went back and forth, especially with the help side defense. He was mostly guarding and guarded by Matthew, and then he had that defensive plays string against Leighton. So Patrick's only been in 1 tournament, still has a lot of time to eventually get one of these, but, you know, very close already in his first tournament. Number 35, we got Adam. Adam has only been in 2 tournaments, the 1v1 family basketball tournament and the holiday 2v2 family basketball tournament. Now, he has made the conference finals in both of those. He was a first team all-tourney member in the 1v1 family basketball tournament, but he made second team in the holiday 2v2 family basketball tournament. And when he was second team, he actually went on to the finals. You know, it's him and Leighton going against myself and Katie. And his biggest rivals are Katie and Natalie. No, it's not because he hates women, but it just so happens that way. He's played Katie the most times, and then him and Natalie had it was a pretty intense game, I would say. But Leighton's definitely his ally. I mean, they were teammates when they went to the finals together. So, you know, Adam, he's never been a first round exit, always been in the conference finals when he's been in one. So hopefully that's a good sign for him moving forward. Number 34, we got my guy Suns Geek. Suns Geek has been in 5 tournaments. He's been in the first NBA trivia tournament, the NBA 20 Questions, NBA Fast Money, NBA GeoGuessr, and the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. He has not made an all-tourney team in his 3 most recent tournaments. However, Suns Geek was a second-team all-tourney member in the NBA 20 Questions tournament. He was a top 5 performer. He also made first-team all-tourney in the first NBA Trivia Tournament. He was a top 3 performer. That same tournament, he made the conference finals appearance. So, you know, Suns Geek, he's kind of been on a tough stretch lately. But let's not forget that he's had some pretty deep runs as well early on. He does have a 2-5 tourney round record, but those 2 wins were pretty massive if you ask me. Romp 2.0 and Reliable Rants are his 2 allies as podcast partners. His main rivals, I would say, are Reeknos Hoops and Gabe Slid In. He's played both of them at some point and lost to them. But yeah, I think we would definitely love to see Suns Geek bounce back, especially if it has anything to do with the Suns. Not only is Suns Geek going to make a video about it, but he's also going to be right there. So, and hopefully he can hoist up that championship. But anyways, number 33, we got Hunter. He's been in 7 tournaments. The NBA over-under scoring tournament was his debut. Then he was in the first outdoor and first indoor 2v2 basketball tournaments, the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament, the 1v1 King of the Court tournament, and the 1v1 mini golf tournament. A 4-8 tournament round record. His main ally, Strauss, and Chase as well. His rivals are Brad and Dutch. He went against Brad a couple times, as well as Dutch, actually. Now, he's missed an all-tourney team every single time, except the 1v1 mini golf tournament. He was a first-team all-tourney member, and he went to the conference finals in that one, and it went to a tiebreaker round. But unfortunately, I still feel bad, Hunter. I did not mean to keep you away from the promo video for the finals, but I know you will get there one day. Yeah, it was a very tough matchup between me and Hunter. Yeah, Hunter was really good in this tournament, and especially with this being his most recent one, maybe that's a good sign. You know, the last couple, he's actually won a couple rounds. First 5 tournaments that Hunter was in, he actually had an 0-6 tournament round record, which is pretty tough. On the bright side, in the last 2 tournaments, he has a 4-2 tournament round record. So that's definitely the right direction you want to be going towards. And I'm hoping that Hunter can have a deep run again sometime soon. Maybe get to that finals promo and hopefully win one. Number 32, Maurice, the sports historian. Maurice, my guy Mo, he's been in 5 tournament appearances. The NBA over-under scoring tournament was his debut, just like Hunter. But he also has been in the NBA Fast Money, NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Riddle Tales, and the Rose Gold Trivia. Now, Mo had a tough stretch here too. He didn't make an all-tourney team, and he was actually a first-round exit in the over-under scoring tournament, the Fast Money tournament, and the GeoGuessr tournament. But then the Riddle Tales tournament came about, and I don't know what happened, but Mo, he just turned up like crazy. He finally got through the first round. He had the best score of anyone in the second round. He got through the final 5 round, and he got through the conference finals round as well, and he got to the finals. He went up against Reek Knows Hoops, and this was one of the closest matchups that Reek has really had in which he won, but ultimately he fell just a bit short. In the Rose Gold Trivia, he avoided a first round exit, so back-to-back times he's avoided that, but he did lose in the second round to Streaky Heat, someone who he beat in the Riddle Tales tournament. His main ally is Trill Buckets, but after starting out with an 0-3 tourney round record, to get yourself to 5-5, I think that's pretty impressive. So shout out to Mo, and I'm hoping he can have more success moving forward. 31, Romp 2.0. Romp has been in 7 tournaments. The first NBA Trivia Tournament, NBA 20 Questions, NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, NBA Fast Money, NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. He hasn't made an all-tourney team, though, in 6 of those, but he did make an all-tourney team in the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament. He actually made first team all-tourney, and he was the second best performer in this whole tournament out of 16 people. He made the conference finals, got through that, and he made the finals where he went up against Price McCurdy, and this was the one that Price ended up winning. So Romp, he does have a 7-7 tourney round record. That's 500. That's not bad. I think his first 4 tournaments, that was really the only glimpse of glory he had. But Romp has been going on a little streak here. He's gotten past the first round in 3 straight tournaments. The most recent time, he got through 2 rounds in the Rose Gold Trivia, with his allies being Suns Geek and Reliable Rants, his main rivals being NBA Real Talk, who he's played a couple times, and then Hindo, the only person who's really had Romp's number consistently.
And then Willie G, like we mentioned earlier.
Romp having another chance to go far would be really cool, and I'm all here for it. Number 30, NBA Real Talk. He's been in 5 tournaments, the NBA Fast Money, NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Riddle Tales, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. He did not make an all-tourney team in the Riddle Tales, Sporkle Boss, or Rose Gold, but he made second-team all-tourney in the NBA GeoGuessr tournament, and he made first-team all-tourney in the NBA Fast Money tournament. The Fast Money tournament was definitely his best. He made the conference finals there, he made a finals appearance there, and a tourney round record of 6-5. That's pretty good. Now, his main allies are Run the NBA and Gabe Slid In, mostly because they're all Raptor fans. His rivals are Romp 2.0, as we mentioned, and then Price McCurdy. Price, who he's actually lost to a couple times now. He missed out a spot in the Sporkle Boss tournament, and actually NBA Real Talk was the closest to making it to the conference finals that didn't in the Sporkle Boss tournament. Price is one of the few that got in there, and then he also was eliminated by him in the GeoGuessr tournament, where he nearly beat him. He was very close. He was winning until the last question. So NBA Real Talk's been a good contestant, and I'm hoping that one of these times, too, he can also get there. I know I'm rooting for a lot of people. I know I've said this over and over and over again, but I genuinely want to see a lot of these people go far. Number 29, we got Leighton. Leighton's been in 2 tournaments, the Holiday 2v2 Family Basketball Tournament, and the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends Basketball Tournament. You know, both times he made the conference finals, the Holiday 2v2 Family Basketball Tournament, a finals appearance member. He also was first team all-tourney in that one, and in the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends Basketball Tournament, he was a second team all-tourney member. A 3-2 record overall in the tournament rounds. His ally is Madison, who also sometimes might seem like his rival,
But also Adam from Team Flick and Roll, as they went to the finals once.
but his real rivals are Katie and Patrick. Patrick, of course, for playing the lockdown defense on him, and then Katie, because the one matchup, Katie blocked his shot like 2 or 3 times, and then the next matchup, Leighton blocked her shot like 2 or 3 times. It was nuts. Leighton still remains, though, as the youngest person to ever make a finals appearance on the channel. Can he be the youngest to win a championship? We'll have to see. Number 28, we got Blake has been in one tournament appearance, the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament. And in that tournament, he was the 4th best contestant, meaning he made second team all-tourney. He made the conference finals appearance, he made a finals appearance, and they won the championship. A 3-0 tourney round record. It's tied for the most wins by someone who's never lost a tournament round matchup. So shout out to Blake there. His main ally was his guy Brandon, who helped him win. His rivals are Dave and Josh with the Twin Towers. They were the finals matchup. And he also made a few clutch plays in this one, so definitely got to put him up here somewhere. I know he's only been in one tournament. It's really hard to put him any higher, but they couldn't have won without him, so shout out to Blake. I just want to see him come back for another one. So Blake, if you're watching, let's do it. Number 27, we got Ian. Ian has been in one tournament, the shifting 2v2 basketball tournament, and he was a first team all-tourney member because he was a top 3 performer, made the conference finals, the finals, and won the championship. He has a 2-0 tourney round record, and his main allies are Jelson and my mom, Karen. His rivals are me and Jack. That's who he played in the finals. Now, he does have a 1 less win for a tourney round record than Blake. However, him being first team all-tourney, and you could argue really closer to maybe being like the main guy to winning this. I mean, Ian had the best individual record in the seeding games of anybody in the tournament. That includes me, and that includes Jelson. So Ian, number 27. But just like what I said with Blake, I want to see you in another tournament. Number 26, we got Brandon V. Now, this is the Brandon that was in the 3v3 draft basketball tournament. He made first team all tournament because he was a top 3 performer, and they made the conference finals, the finals, and won the championship with Team Boost. He has a 3-0 tourney round record, just like what I said with Blake. That's the most wins by a contestant without ever losing in a tournament round. His allies are obviously Jordan and Aaron. That's who he won with. His main rivals, I would say, are Z, considering he was the captain, he played in the finals, and also Marcos, because he did guard him a lot when our teams played. I'm very curious to see how he would do in another tournament, especially in different formats, if it's 1v1, 2v2, so we'll have to see. Number 25, we got Matthew. Matthew's been in 3 tournaments. He's been in the 1v1 family basketball tournament. He was in the holiday 2v2 family basketball tournament, and he was in the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament. Now, the only one in which he made an all-tourney team was the holiday 2v2 family basketball tournament. He did make the conference finals appearance, though, in the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament. And in that same tournament, the Easter one, he went to the finals and he won the championship. Matthew is a champion. You know, he did have a slow start in some of the other tournaments, but by his 3rd tournament, winning a championship with a 3-3 record, that's pretty good. His allies include myself,
The champion Green Beans.
his rivals are Katie and Patrick. The only way we were going to win is if Matthew was in the right spots and played a little bit of defense. And you know what? He did just enough of that. We ended up getting the job done. And he scored in every single tournament he's been in. So Matthew, you know, he loves being in these. We'll see if he can add more to his collection one day. But as of now, he's a champ. Number 24, we got Aaron. You know, Aaron's been in 3 tournaments himself. 1v1v1 basketball tournament where he made his debut. He also was second team all-tourney in that one as a top 5 contestant. And he made the conference finals in that one. He also was in the mystery all-runs basketball tournament. That one was rough for him. He actually was the lowest seed out of 18 contestants. So that's one he wants to forget. But he had a great bounce back in the next one in the 3v3 draft basketball tournament because they went to the conference finals, the finals, and he actually won a championship. And yes, he didn't make first team or second team all-tourney, but he played his role perfectly. I don't think you could have asked for him to do anything more. And in the final game, he had a couple shots. He was hitting shots in just about every single game. He was playing great defense. He was rebounding. I think he actually had the most rebounds on his team for Team Boost. A 4-2 tournament round record. His allies are Brandon V and actually Jordan, which is funny how it works because he actually beat Jordan in a matchup in the 1v1v1 basketball tournament. The rivals include Richie and Daryl.
And from earlier, Phoenix too.
I'm glad that Aaron won in this tournament, especially because I knew he was upset about the one before that. But to follow that up and become a champion in the next one, I think that that's awesome. Number 23, we got Run the NBA. Run the NBA has been in 7 tournaments, including the NBA 20 Questions, the NBA Puzzle Block, NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, NBA Fast Money, NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Riddle Tales, and the Rose Gold Trivia. He's missed an all-tourney team, though, in 4 of those, but he did make second team all-tourney in the NBA Fast Money and the NBA Riddle Tales tournament. And most recently, he made first team all-tourney in the Rose Gold Trivia tournament. Now, 2 of those, he got to the conference finals. That would be the Riddle Tales and the Rose Gold. He's yet to make a finals appearance or win a championship, but he really has bounced back in recent tournaments because he had a sluggish start, I would say. in kind of the first 3 or so tournaments. He actually didn't win a matchup until his 3rd tournament, but now he has an 8-7 tournament round record. His allies being Reek and Gabe. His main rival has been Jelson, and he's trending in the right direction, I'm telling you. So run the NBA. I think that my guy Devin, he could show some work here sometime soon
And put on for 3 Point Weekly.
Number 22, we got Z. Z has been in 5 tournaments: the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the 1v1 King of the Court tournament, Mystery All Runs basketball tournament, the 3v3 draft basketball tournament, and the 1v1 4 squares basketball tournament. He has a 10-6 tournament round record. His main allies have been Daryl and Michael, especially with Daryl being on the team Cyclones and getting to the finals where they eventually had to play. And then rivals would mostly be Twan and Brandon V. Like we were just saying too about Brandon V, both of them were captains in the 3v3 draft basketball. Now, he has missed an all-tourney team in 4 of these, but he was a first-team all-tournament member in the Mystery All-Runs basketball tournament. In fact, he was really the 2nd best performer in this one. Yeah, he didn't have as many points as maybe some of these other guys, but part of the way that you needed to perform in this tournament was playing your role and playing as a team, and that's exactly what he did. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for the final game, but it was still an impressive performance nonetheless. He's made the conference finals 3 times, though: the Mystery All-Runs basketball, along with the 3v3 draft basketball, and the 1v1 4 squares basketball tournament. So Z has made 3 straight conference finals appearances as the time we're recording this. In the Mystery All-Runs and the 3v3 draft, he made the finals in both of those, but unfortunately, yet to win a ring. Like I said, though, he has a 10-6 tournament round record, especially after the first tournament, where he was the only person who went scoreless in the 1v1v1 basketball tournament. Safe to say that Z has definitely turned it around. I know I've said it before, but I'm rooting for him. I want to see him succeed, and we'll just have to see. At 21, I got Chase. Now, Chase has been in 5 tournaments: the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament, the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament, the 1v1 King of the Court tournament, and the Mystery All-Runs basketball tournament. He's made the 2nd team all-tourney 3 times. First indoor 2v2 basketball tournament, he was the 4th best competitor. The 1v1 King of the Court tournament, he was the 5th best competitor, and the 5th best competitor too for the Mystery All-Runs basketball tournament. He's only made the conference finals once in the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament, but he has a 7-6 record overall, and his allies being Stevie and Hunter, mostly from the indoor 2v2 and then the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball. His rivals are Jordan, Dutch, Dave. Most of those are kind of personal. So, Chase, he can definitely heat up, especially one of the best shooters we've had in these tournaments. So, but he's had really close tournament. Like the 1v1 King of the Court tournament, he was 1 shot away from advancing. I'm sorry, Chase, I had to do it. But then the Mystery All-Runs basketball tournament, he was also 1 point away from advancing there. And then him and Dre ended up losing to Twan and Brad. So it was tough, but I could very well see Chase winning one of these someday. 20, Gabe Slidin. Gabe Slidin has been in 7 tournaments: the NBA Puzzle Block, the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, the NBA Fast Money, NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Riddle Tales, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia. He's only missed an all-tourney team, though, 3 times. In fact, he's made 2nd team all-tourney in the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament and the NBA Fast Money Tournament. He's made 1st team all-tourney in the NBA Puzzle Block Tournament and the NBA Riddle Tales Tournament. Both of those where he was a top 3 finisher. The Puzzle Block, Fast Money, and the Riddle Tales, he's been to the conference finals in all those, but he's 0-3. He's never made the finals, never won a championship, and that's kind of the toughest thing, I think, on Gabe Slidin's resume right now. He has a 9-7 tournament round record, with allies are Reek, Run the NBA, and Garav Law. Rivals are Price McCurdy and Willie G. If Gabe Slidin, if he can put on some finals appearances and some championships, I think he could really elevate on this list very quickly. But right now, I think the highest I could have him is top 20. Number 19, we got Clutch Talk, who's also known as Lakers Corner. Now, he's been in 8 tournaments, including the NBA 20 Questions, NBA Puzzle Block, NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, NBA Fast Money Tournament, NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Riddle Tales, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. And he's only made an all-tourney team twice, though. He was on the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament 2nd team. He also made 1st team all-tourney in the NBA Puzzle Block Tournament, where he was a top 2 finisher, and he was the runner-up. He made the finals, conference finals there. The over-under scoring tournament, he made the conference finals. He does have a 7-8 tourney round record. He's kind of been on a little bit of a slide lately. His main allies are top-notch, Lakers University and Noah Talks Basketball. His main rivals have been Reek Knows Hoops and Xander, who are 2 proven champions. He's lost to a lot of proven opponents, which is kind of the unfortunate thing, but he usually is good for at least getting past the first round. I don't know. I would like to see Clutch Talk, my guy John, Lakers Corner, however you want to call him these days, you know, have a little more success moving forward. Number 18, we got NBA Addict TV, my guy Jay. You know, he has been in 7 tournaments, including the NBA 20 Questions Tournament, NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, NBA Fast Money, NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Riddle Tales, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia. Now, he's only made 2 All-Tourney teams, just like Clutch Talk. He's made first team All-Tourney, though, in the NBA 20 Questions Tournament, and he was second team All-Tourney in the NBA GeoGuessr Tournament. Both of those, he made the conference finals. He made the finals in the NBA 20 Questions Tournament, and he has a 7-7 tournament round record. His main ally is Jacob Blocks, is a Knicks fan. His rivals are Reek Nose Hoops and Bryce McCurdy, both of which he's played multiple times, and both sides of each matchup, both sides have won. You know, it would be really cool to see Jay win one of these someday. So, Jay, I'm rooting for you. We'll have to see if you can get it done. Number 17, we got Brad. Now, Brad has been in 5 tournaments, including the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament, the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament, the 1v1 King of the Court, Mystery All Runs basketball tournament, and the 1v1 Four Squares basketball tournament. Now, he's missed the All-Tourney team on 2 of them. He did make second team All-Tourney in the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament. He was a top 5 competitor there. He also made first team All-Tourney twice in the 1v1 King of the Court tournament and the 1v1 Four Squares basketball tournament. Both of those 2, along with the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament, he made the conference finals. He did technically make it in the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament, but I did not put him on a first or second team there because he technically was supposed to be eliminated after the first round, but he still does have a conference finals appearance on his resume for that. And he made the finals in the most recent appearance in the 1v1 Four Squares basketball tournament. He does have a tournament round record of 11-7.
Allies of Jeremy K and Tristan.
His main rivals are myself and Daryl.
For some reason, I've just been his kryptonite, his nightmare. I eliminated him in the outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament. I eliminated him in the 1v1 King of the Court basketball tournament, and I hit the shot on him that technically should have eliminated him in the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament. But then he eventually went on, played Daryl later on in that tournament, and lost to him. So that was the real elimination there. And then, of course, losing in the finals to Daryl in the 1v1 Four Squares basketball tournament. He just hasn't had very good luck against either of us.
The only time he's really, I would say, disappointed in a tournament would be the indoor 2v2 basketball tournament. Maybe you could argue the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament prior to the qualifying round ending was also a little disappointing there, but he's put up a lot of good performances. If he can start piling on some championships, some more finals appearances, there's not many people you could say are above him. Number 16, we got Josh, who's been in 5 tournaments, the first outdoor and first indoor 2v2 basketball tournaments. He was in the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball, the 1v1 King of the Court, and the 1v1 mini golf. Now, he's missed an all-tourney team twice. He has made second team all-tourney, though, in the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament and the 1v1 mini golf tournament. He was actually a first team all-tourney contestant in the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament. He was actually the leading scorer in this whole tournament, which is crazy to think about because the one before that, he was the lowest scorer. So to go from lowest to highest, that's just insane. Made 2 conference finals appearances in the indoor 2v2 basketball tournament and the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament, both of which he also made the finals, but he lost in both of those. He has a 7-6 record overall in tournament rounds. He's been teammates with Dave and Michael, so they're his allies. Myself and Brandon are probably his biggest rivals. You know, Josh has had highlight moments in both of these tournaments, though. He had a lot of game winners in the indoor 2v2 basketball tournament, and I remember the dodging sequence he had in Game 6 of the final matchup against Team BS and with the Twin Towers. That was still crazy. I'm hoping Josh can win one of these someday. Number 15, we got Dave, his teammate on the Twin Towers. Dave has also been in 5 tournaments. He's been in the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament, the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament, 1v1 King of the Court, and the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament. Now, he hasn't been on an all-tourney team in 3 of them, but he's been a 2-time member of a first-team all-tourney team. He made first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament and outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament. Both of those, he also made the conference finals, and he made the finals. And in both of those, it's not like he was just a first-team all-tourney member, but he was, in my opinion, the second best player in the whole tournament. So it's really tough for Dave. He does also have a 10-6 tournament round record. His ally, of course, is Josh. His rivals mostly being Brandon, Jordan, and Chase. He's been so close to winning, and it's just so tough to think like, man, he probably him and Josh have been some of the closest people to win that have yet to win. So I can't put him that much higher, but Dave, you're 15th. But number 14, we got Twan. Now, Twan, this is kind of similar. You know, someone who has been close a couple times, but never has won, really. He's been in 4 tournaments: the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the 1v1 King of the Court, Mystery All Runs basketball, and the 1v1 Four Squares basketball tournament. Now, every time he's made an all-tourney team, the 1v1v1 basketball tournament and the Mystery All Runs, he made first team all-tourney. The second team all-tourney for the 1v1 King of the Court and the 1v1 Four Squares basketball tournament, both of them featured Twan too. He's always made the conference finals appearance every tournament he's been in, and he made the finals in the 1v1v1 basketball tournament as a newcomer. 8 people were new to that tournament, and he did the best out of all of them. He has an 11-4 record in tournament rounds, and his main allies being Brad and Dre, his main rivals being Z and Michael. I'm always rooting for Twan because I think he's definitely good enough to win one of these tournaments. I think one of these, he's definitely going to do it. He's always been a top 5 contestant every single time he's been in one of these. So we'll see if he can do it one day, because I think he has a chance to. Number 13, we got Jelson. Jelson has been in 9 tournaments: the NBA 20 Questions, NBA Puzzle Block, NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, the Fast Money, GeoGuessr, Shifting 2v2 Basketball Tournament, the NBA Riddle Tales, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia. He has an 8-8 tournament round record, his allies being Ian and Jack,
And also Hindo too.
his rivals being myself and my mom, Karen. You know, he's missed an all-tourney team 5 times, but he's also made it 4 times. Second team all-tourney member for the NBA Puzzle Block Tournament and the NBA Fast Money Tournament. A first team all-tourney member for the NBA GeoGuessr Tournament and the Shifting 2v2 Basketball Tournament. 3 times he's made the conference finals. That would be the NBA Puzzle Block, the NBA GeoGuessr, and the Shifting 2v2 Basketball Tournament. The latter there, the Shifting 2v2 Basketball Tournament, he made the finals, and he also won the championship. So Jelson, he has a championship under his belt. I mean, he was nearly the leading scorer in that tournament. He won the championship in too. So got to give him credit there. Jelson has been on a bit of a slide in the last 3 tournaments though. He's only gotten past the first round once in the last 3. So we'll see if he's got something better in store moving forward. Number 12, we got Jacob D. Jacob, who was in the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament, as well as the first indoor one, the 1v1v1 basketball tournament. We got the 1v1 King of the Court, Mystery All Runs basketball tournament. We got the 1v1 mini golf tournament. We got the 3v3 draft basketball tournament and the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament. Now, he does have a 6-8 tournament round record. It's slightly less than Jelson, and his main ally being X,
along with Jaden and Joshua Moon.
his main rivals being myself, Xander, and Stevie. He has missed an all-tourney team 5 times, and he's made second team all-tourney 3 times in the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament, the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, and the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament. He's been to the conference finals twice, in the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament and the 1v1v1 basketball tournament. And in the first one he was ever in, that outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament. But in that one specifically, he made the finals and he won the championship. He won the championship in his first ever appearance. I think that says a lot personally. And not only that, but to do it while you hit the game-winning shot in every single matchup. He was a top 5 scorer in the tournament too. So it's not like he wasn't doing anything or it was like something super easy. They went through tough opponents. They had to beat me and Xander twice, and I'd like to think that we're good. And also they had to go through Jordan and Dutch, who ended up winning the next tournament. So it was hard. Like, they had to show up, both of them, and Jacob definitely earned this championship. So I'm gonna give him right here a spot at number 12 on the list. At number 11, we got Katie. I do have Katie here. She's been in 3 tournaments: the 1v1 family basketball tournament, the holiday 2v2 family basketball tournament, and then of course the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament. Now, every time she's made the conference finals, every time she's made the finals, every time she's been first team all-tourney, and she won a championship in the holiday 2v2 family basketball tournament as my teammate. Shout out to Sibling Splashers. She has a tournament round record of 8-3. That's really impressive. And she has allies of Patrick, Madison, and Natalie. Now, I would still say I am one of Katie's rivals, though, considering we've played each other in the finals twice, and I'm probably the reason that's kept her from being a 3-time champion. But also, she has rivalries with Adam and, of course, Matthew. You know, I think definitely off a resume alone, you could almost argue that she could be top 10. I do think that the person I have in 10th, though, they have won a championship, and their championship probably was a bit more impressive. So that's the only real reason why I do have it higher. But I think maybe a couple more good tournaments under her belt, and maybe she could be even higher. She is already the highest female on this list, so shout out to Katie. We're in the top 10 now. Number 10, I got X. X has been in 3 tournaments, including the first outdoor and first indoor 2v2 basketball tournaments. He was in the 1v1v1 basketball tournament too. Now in his first appearance, made first team all tournament. He made it to the conference finals, the finals, and became a champion, and really was the MVP of the tournament. He also made the finals in the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, as well as the conference finals. He was first team all-tourney in that one too, but in that tournament, he was the second best contestant. He did not make an all-tourney team for the indoor 2v2 basketball tournament. That's the one where me and Xander got revenge on them, and that's why we're 2 of his rivals, along with Jordan, as we are the only 3 people to actually beat X in anything in a tournament that led to an elimination, I should say. Not to mention that X eliminated all 3 of us in his championship run too. His allies, of course, Jacob. And I'd like to see X come back in one of these. I know it's been a minute since he's been in a tournament. I've tried to get him in a couple of them. I know it just hasn't worked out time-wise. With a 7-3 tournament round record, too. I got to give X some credit here. I do think that if he comes back, he can definitely assert himself somewhere high in the ranks once again. Number 9, we got Dutch. Now, Dutch has been in 6 tournaments, including the first outdoor and first indoor 2v2 basketball tournaments. He's been in the 1v1v1 basketball tournament. He's been in the 1v1 King of the Court tournament, the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament, and the 3v3 draft basketball tournament. With a tournament round record of 11-5, that's really good. His main ally is Jordan, although he has also played against him in the finals before. His main rivals include myself, Chase, and Jacob D. Now, he missed the all-tourney team for the outdoor 2v2 basketball and the Mystery All Runs basketball. He's made second team all-tourney 3 times, though. The first indoor 2v2 basketball, the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, and the 1v1 King of the Court tournament. The first team all-tourney appearance comes in the 3v3 draft basketball tournament. You know, while Dutch did not win, the Oreos did not beat Team Boost, I would still argue he was the second best player in this tournament. You know, I think Jordan was probably the best, and you could argue Dutch or maybe Brandon V as who was second, who was third. Regardless, I think he's in the top 3. Now, he's made the conference finals appearance in the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament, as well as the first indoor one, and the 1v1v1 basketball tournament. He did have back-to-back ones where he wasn't a part of the conference finals, but he did bounce back in the 3v3 draft basketball tournament. The first indoor 2v2 basketball and then 3v3 draft basketball, he made the finals. The indoor 2v2 was where he won his championship. He's only been a first-round exit once, but we'll have to see if he can win another tournament sometime soon, whether that's as a teammate of Jordan's or is that against Jordan or is it going through Jordan. We don't know, but he almost did it once. He could maybe do it again. Number 8, we got Trill Buckets. This is my guy, Steph. You know, he's been in 6 tournaments, all NBA based, including the over-under scoring, Fast Money, GeoGuessr, Riddle Tales, Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia tournaments. He has a 10-5 record overall. His main ally is Marisa Sports Historian, but his main rivals include Reek Knows Hoops, along with me and Price, who he played in the finals. First team all-tourney in the NBA over-under scoring tournament, the NBA GeoGuessr tournament, and the NBA Sporkle Boss tournament. On the other hand, he's also missed an all-tourney team 3 times, which was the NBA Fast Money tournament, the NBA Riddle Tales tournament, and the Rose Gold Trivia tournament. Those 3, he actually was eliminated in the first round. You know, these other 3, he's been to the conference finals in all 3 of them. The GeoGuessr and the Sporkle Boss tournament, he made the finals, so he lost in the conference finals for the over-under scoring tournament. And he did actually become the champion in the NBA GeoGuessr tournament. So it's still a pretty good resume. I think actually on paper, probably one of the most beautiful looking resumes, but the only thing that really holds it back is just those first round exits every other time. I would say it's very San Antonio Spurs like. You know, they were obviously a dynasty, but they never went back to back, right? And most recently, he did have a poor performance in the Rose Gold Trivia tournament. So I think that only means that he's probably next time going to come out. He's going to show out. And could it result in championship number 2? We're going to have to see. So I think that'd be crazy. Number 7, we got Bryce McCurdy. We were just talking about Trill Buckets. Might be his biggest rival, actually. He's been in 9 tournaments, all NBA-based tournaments. The first NBA trivia tournament, including the NBA 20 Questions tournament and the NBA Puzzle Block, over-under scoring, GeoGuessr, Fast Money, Riddle Tales, Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia. Price has only missed an all-tourney team 3 times. That'd be the Puzzle Block, Fast Money, and Riddle Tales. He's been second team all-tourney in the NBA 20 Questions Tournament, the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament, and then he also was first team all-tourney 4 times in the first NBA Trivia Tournament, the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, the NBA GeoGuessr, and the NBA Sporkle Boss. He's been to the conference finals 5 times. His first appearance in the first NBA Trivia one, the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, the NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia. He's been to the finals 3 times, including the first NBA Trivia, the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, and the NBA GeoGuessr most recently. And the middle of those, which was the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, he won the championship. So overall, he does have a 17-8 record. His main ally, I would say, is just myself. Trill Buckets, Reek Nose Hoops, and NBA Addict TV are his main rivals. You know, Price has been up there a lot. I think if he could win another championship or 2, you could really see him climb a few people on this list. But until then, I think number 7 is where he belongs. Number 6, we got Daryl. In 4 tournament appearances, including the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament, the 3v3 draft basketball tournament, and the 1v1 4 squares basketball tournament, Daryl has always made the conference finals, and in 2 of those he made first team all-tourney. It was the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament and the 1v1 4 squares basketball tournament. Both of those he made the finals, both of those he won the championship. He also made the finals in the 3v3 draft basketball tournament. He was still good in that tournament. He didn't really have as much of an impact, I would say. He does have a tournament round record though of 12-3, which is very impressive. He's been allies with Z and Dutch as they were part of the Oreos team. His main rivals would be Brad from the most recent 4 squares basketball tournament and the Mystery All Runs basketball they played in the conference finals matchup, but then also Richie and Yanni. I mean, 2 championships, there's not many people on the tournaments with those. Daryl to be up here at number 6, he's probably one of the newer contestants to be in the top 10, if not the newest. So I gotta give him extra props. Top 5 now. Number 5, we got Brandon S. Now, this is, of course, the Brandon that's been in multiple tournaments. Been in 6 tournaments as well, including the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament, 1v1 King of the Court basketball, the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament, the 1v1 mini golf, and the 1v1 4 squares basketball tournament. First team all-tourney in 2 of these, including what I would say is really the MVP of these tournaments in the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament and the 1v1 mini golf tournament. All the other tournaments he's been in, he didn't make first or second all-tourney teams. Now, he has made the conference finals in 4 of them, though, including the 2 he's won, along with the 1v1v1 basketball tournament and the 1v1 4 squares tournament. The 2 that he made the finals are the 2 that he's won, like I said, and he has a 14-4 tournament round record, and he's never been a first round exit. So that's pretty impressive to me, especially when he's been in mostly basketball tournaments. The fact that Brandon, who doesn't really play basketball, the fact he's never gotten first rounded and to have a 14-4 record is pretty crazy too. His main allies being Blake and Jamie. Of course, Blake was his teammate when they won the dodgeball, and Jamie, I mean, that's who he's with. I mean, come on. The rivals include myself, Dave, and Josh, who he's probably played the most, those 3 in particular. And I think the versatility that you would need to have on display to win both these tournaments, I mean, not a lot of people could replicate that. So shout out to Brandon, and that's why he's a top 5 tournament contestant. And number 4, we got Xander, Zan Man. Xander has been in 11 tournaments. That is the second most of anybody on the channel. The NBA 2K20 tournament, the NBA 20 Questions tournament, NBA Over-Under Scoring tournament, the first outdoor and first indoor 2v2 basketball tournaments. He was in the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the NBA Fast Money, outdoor 2v2 dodgeball, NBA GeoGuessr, 1v1 mini golf, and the Rose Gold Trivia tournament. Did miss an all-tourney team in 5 of these, but he has been second team all-tourney in the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament and the 1v1 mini golf tournament. Now, he was also a 4-time member of the first team all-tourney teams. In the NBA 2K20 tournament, he was really the MVP. The first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament, he was a top 3 performer. The NBA Fast Money tournament, he was a top 3 performer. And then the Rose Gold Trivia tournament, he was the MVP again. He's been to the conference finals 5 times, including those 4 times he was first team all-tourney, along with the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament. He's made the finals 3 times in the NBA 2K20, first outdoor 2v2 basketball, and the Rose Gold Trivia tournament, which makes Xander the only person in tournament history to make a finals appearance in a video game tournament, an NBA tournament, and an IRL tournament, which is pretty crazy. He was the champion in the NBA 2K20 tournament and the Rose Gold Trivia tournament. So his first appearance, he started off as a winner, and his most recent one, he has a 20-11 tournament round record overall. That's pretty good. His ally would have to be me. I mean, we're a part of Double Team Supreme for a reason. His main rivals would include Jordan, Jacob D, and Reek Knows Hoops. Jordan and Reek, he beat both of them in his finals appearances as well, and those guys have combined 9 championships. So, in my opinion, yeah, we have 3 people here with 2 championships between Xander, Brandon, and Daryl, but I do think that Xander's are definitely the most impressive. I think that they hold the most weight, and especially if he can rack up a couple more championships here sometime soon, you could even see him getting higher to 3, 2, and maybe even back to GOAT status, which is what he really was. He was the original GOAT in these tournaments. Being the first ever champion, you have to be the GOAT, right? So we'll have to see. I mean, still top 4. That's a Mount Rushmore appearance right there. But I think Xander can definitely do it sometime soon. Now we're into the top 3. Number 3, it has to be me. It has to be me. You know, I can't be the guy who just puts myself number 1, right? I can't put myself number 2, right? I gotta be number 3. I have been in the most tournaments on my channel. I've been in the NBA 2K20 tournament, the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament, the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament. I was in the 1v1 family basketball tournament, the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the outdoor 2v2 dodgeball, shifting 2v2 basketball, the 1v1 king of the court, mystery all runs basketball, 1v1 mini golf, holiday 2v2 family basketball, the NBA Sporkle Boss, the 3v3 draft basketball, the 1v1 Four Squares basketball tournament, and the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament. That in itself brings me to 15 tournaments. And the crazier thing about it though, and I didn't even really notice this, is I've only missed an all-tourney team twice. And that would be the 1v1v1 basketball tournament. I was absolutely horrible in that one. That's my least favorite tournament I was performance-wise in. And then the 3v3 draft basketball tournament, I could not make anything either. I did make second team all-tournament 3 times. In the NBA 2K20 tournament, I was a top 4 performer. The first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament, I was the 6th best performer. And then the mystery all runs basketball tournament, I was also the 6th best performer. 10-time member of the first team all-tourney. That includes the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament. I would say I was the 2nd best performer behind X. The 1v1 family basketball tournament, I was the MVP as the winner. The outdoor 2v2 dodgeball tournament, I would say I was a top 3 performer. The shifting 2v2 basketball tournament, even though I didn't win, I still feel like I was the MVP of the tournament. But even if you don't want to say me, I mean, I indisputably have to be on first team here. 1v1 King of the Court tournament, I mean, I finished as the runner-up. I have to be 2nd there. The 1v1 mini golf tournament, same thing there. I was the runner-up. The holiday 2v2 family basketball tournament, I would say I was the best performer. I was the leading scorer on the championship team. The NBA Sporkle Boss tournament, I ended up winning that tournament, so I would say I was number 1 there too. Now the 1v1 Four Squares basketball tournament, I would say I was a top 3 performer, and you could really argue that I was 2nd, but I would say at least top 3. I mean, considering Daryl and Brad were in a higher round than me, I want to give them that credit. But aside from Daryl, I had the most wins of anybody in this tournament. And then the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament, I was definitely the MVP. I scored 40 points of our 41 points on the team, and we won the championship. I mean, come on. Now, I've made 11 conference finals appearances, though, which includes every time I was first team all-tourney and the 3v3 draft basketball tournament. I made 8 finals appearances, the outdoor 2v2 basketball, 1v1 family basketball, shifting 2v2 basketball, 1v1 King of the Court, 1v1 mini golf, holiday 2v2 family basketball, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament. And for a while, I had a losing finals record. I would get to the finals and I just couldn't do it, it seemed like, for most of them. But I have since got myself up to a 4-4 finals record. I won the 1v1 family basketball tournament, the holiday 2v2 family basketball tournament, the NBA Sporkle Boss tournament, and the Easter 2v2 Fam and Friends basketball tournament, bringing myself to 4 championships on the channel. And I have a 36-13 tournament round record, which is the most individual wins by a contestant out of anybody in the tournaments. Granted, I have been in the most tournaments too, but the one other thing that's interesting is I've been in the most tournaments of anyone who's never been a first round exit. So having been in 15 tournaments, you'd think at one point I would get first rounded. Has not happened as of today, which is probably one of the things I hold my hat on the most. My main allies, I would say, are Xander, of course, as a part of Double Team Supreme. And then I would have to put Matthew there as well. But I do think Katie more so fits the rival category,
since we're the only finals rematch in tournament history so far. And then Jordan and Jacob D, I've played them both in the finals too. Played them plenty of times. Some of my most common rivals there as well. Been to the finals with 4 teams, which is a record. Double Team Supreme, the Fireballs, Sibling Splashers, and the Green Beans, with Xander, Jack, Katie, and Matthew respectively.
The only reason really I don't think I can put myself higher is because, well, one on the list has more championships than me, and number 2, but he's had my number more times than not. So I think until then, or until I can actually surpass him in a championship or 2 or something like that, it's a little bit harder for me to put myself over him. But even some of these rounds too, yes, some of these tournaments I have won or been to the finals in maybe felt easy, but the outdoor 2v2 basketball was not easy. I don't think the King of the Court one was easy. I don't think the mini golf one was easy. I don't think the Sporkle Boss one was easy. And the most recent one I won, where it was me and Matthew, I mean, I don't think that was relatively easy. I had to score 40 of 41 points to win the tournament. So yes, I know I'm trying to also like play both sides here. I don't want to make myself sound too good, but I also don't want to make myself sound too bad. I do think that I belong in the top 3 here, but I also think you can make an argument that maybe I even belong higher. Regardless, I'm going to keep myself number 3. I'm going to be a little bit humble. At number 2 on the list, we got Jordan. Jordan is number 2 on this list. He's been in 8 tournaments, including the NBA 2K20 tournament, the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament, the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament, the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the 1v1 King of the Court tournament, the Mystery All Runs basketball tournament, 1v1 mini golf, and the 3v3 draft basketball tournament. He's only missed an all-tourney team twice, which was the Mystery All Runs basketball and the 1v1 mini golf. He made second team all-tourney in the first outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament. 5 times he made first team all-tourney, which was the NBA 2K20 tournament, the first indoor 2v2 basketball tournament, the 1v1v1 basketball tournament, the 1v1 King of the Court, and the 3v3 draft basketball. Now, every time he's made an all-tourney team, he's been to the conference finals. He's been to the finals all those times too, with the exception of the outdoor 2v2 basketball tournament. And he's won the championship every time he's been to the finals, with the exception of the NBA 2K20 tournament. But a 24-5 record overall. His main ally is, of course, Dutch. His main rivals being me, Xander, and X. You know, Jordan obviously couldn't show up for the most recent IRL basketball tournament, that being the Four Squares. I know he's a little salty that Daryl won that one.
And at the same time, I'm sure Daryl's a little thankful that Jordan didn't show up. I think really all of us were, because we're like, okay, the odds of winning just got a little bit better. And that's usually how it goes when he's not there for the IRL basketball stuff. I mean, he's definitely the GOAT in that category. Trust me, I've been on the wrong end way too many times against him, especially the 1v1 King of the Court, because I really wanted to win that one.
And while I think you could argue that my resume is maybe better than his, I just kind of want to, you know, have that little advantage where it's like I actually beat him in something. Like I said, pretty much only beat him in the preliminary round of the mini golf tournament. And especially with him being so successful at basketball, I kind of want to win one of those, you know what I mean? I just feel like I've been really unlucky with that. Either that or just kind of surpassing him in championships would be pretty cool. But I also think the success rate is what matters here too. I mean, 4 championships in 8 appearances or 4 championships in 15 appearances. Yeah, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. I can't lie, even though I am the one with more appearances. So I have to admit that. But, you know, definitely shout out to Jordan. He's been incredible in these tournaments so far. One of the OGs, too, from the original tournament, like myself, like Xander. One other thing that I will add about Jordan is, if you notice, his rivals, myself, Xander, and X, I wanted to put Daryl in here too, although I only occupied as many as 3 allies and as many as 3 rivals. So Daryl is really one of Jordan's rivals, and likewise the other way. But because Jordan has played me in the finals in a 1v1 scenario, he's played Xander in a 1v1 scenario in the finals, and he's also played X in a 1v1 scenario in the finals. Yes, Jordan's won tournament that Daryl's been in, and vice versa too, but that's kind of the reason.
But he is the IRL GOAT, you could say, although there still is one more spot on this list.
But Jordan, for now, you sit in number 2. And number 1, the best SMH24 tournament contestant as of right now is Reek Knows Hoops. Yes, sir. Reek is number 1 on this list. Now, he has made 9 tournament appearances, including the first NBA Trivia Tournament, the NBA 20 Questions, NBA Puzzle Block, NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, the NBA Fast Money Tournament, the NBA GeoGuessr, NBA Riddle Tales, NBA Sporkle Boss, and the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. Has made 6 times on the first team All-Tourney team, including the first NBA Trivia Tournament, the NBA 20 Questions Tournament, NBA Puzzle Block, NBA Fast Money, NBA Riddle Tales, and the Rose Gold Trivia Tournament. He's made second team All-Tourney 3 times in the NBA Over-Under Scoring Tournament, the NBA GeoGuessr Tournament, and the NBA Sporkle Boss Tournament. One of the craziest flexes, and has never been a first-round exit. The other thing that Reek has going for him is he's always been on an all-tourney team. Every single tournament he's been in, he has been a top 5 performer, bare minimum. That is crazy to think about, that every single time he's up there, and if he loses in the second round, whatever it may be, he's always the closest one getting to that next round. If he loses in the third round, and he's the only one who loses there, well, he's a top 5 finisher. So I got to give him props there. 6 finals appearances every time he was first team All-Tourney, 7 conference finals appearances, add in the Rose Gold Trivia, and he's won his 5 championships the first 5 times he went to the finals, which is the first NBA Trivia Tournament, the NBA 20 Questions, the NBA Puzzle Block, NBA Fast Money, NBA Riddle Tales. He's been a champion in all 5 of those. He did also get to the finals in the Rose Gold Trivia. That one was not meant to be. Xander was on a crazy run right there. But nevertheless, still to win 5 tournament championships is the most on the channel. And just to have that consistency every single tournament. I mean, this guy has a 28-4 tournament round record. That's insane. His main allies are Gabe Slidin, Run the NBA, and Gaurav Law. His main rivals being Xander, who he's played in the finals in the Rose Gold Trivia, Trill Buckets, who he's lost to a couple times. That's been the one contestant who's probably had his number the most, I would say. And then Price McCurdy, who played a couple times. He beat him in the finals of the NBA Trivia Tournament. On top of that, Reek was also the first person to three-peat in the tournament history. He three-peated with the first NBA Trivia Tournament, the NBA 20 Questions, and the NBA Puzzle Block tournaments. The only other people you could even argue have three-peated would be Jordan across 3 tournaments in a row he appeared in, but they didn't necessarily fall in order of the tournament scene. And then myself for family-based tournaments, but that wasn't really tournaments in a row. And not only that, but Reek has also three-peated in baloney basketball tournaments in the first NBA Trivia, the NBA 20 Questions, and the NBA Fast Money tournaments. So it's indisputed. I mean, this guy is definitely the go to my tournaments. Could someone like Jordan or myself or Xander, maybe even Brandon, maybe even Daryl pass him one day as the GOAT? Sure, it's still possible, but it's going to be really, really, really hard. And consider he's held the GOAT spot for 20 tournaments now. And consider that in solo tournaments, he has more than me and Jordan combined, who's second and third on the list. But it's going to take a little bit more for any of us or anyone else that comes into another tournament sometime soon to eventually pass what is known as the GOAT right now of Reek Knows Hoops.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully my list wasn't poo, you get it? But anyways, I did spend a lot of time trying to put this whole thing together. I compiled all these records and I guess like the data behind each one, just so we can see like, where we are and, where people need to go to elevate. The tournaments, they've become like one of, if not maybe the biggest thing for my channel. Does not mean it's like taken away from any NBA talks or NBA ideas or just regular IRL videos, but I do think that they're probably the coolest things or one of the coolest things. So stay tuned for more NBA content, IRL content, and tourney content. Thank you guys once again for 10K subs. And for 100 contestants, we had more than 100 minutes of me talking about it. How's that? Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Peace.